Hello everyone and welcome back. This is game number 2 of the losers round semifinals between Ta and Indypride. And this is very interesting because Ta chose the map here in blue as the Hojo, and it is Shogun River. I don't believe this map's been chosen yet for this tournament, and it's not surprising because it's a pretty hard map to attack on if you know the enemy could just camp and defend. But it's also kind of nice because you can force your opponent to sort of get funneled here at this island. I've talked about this map before, and it's actually a lot more interesting than I think it looks to most players because of the way that actually manages to funnel armies into small areas despite its wide open design. But anyway, talk a little bit about the army setups. Taz looks fairly similar to what he had in the last map. We haven't seen his full army yet because this was sent by Indypride, so he probably still has a bunch of stuff fit in the trees. Indypride's is fairly similar. He's got a nice little cap component over here with some Yari-Ashigaru, but this time he has more of a sword core with 3 Nodachis up front and Katana Samurai. No hero yet, I believe, either, so a little bit of a change there for Indypride, though he is still using that big line of swords. We can see some Naginata monks over there for Ta, but that's about all we can see. Indypride is doing a good thing here by capturing this island here with both these buildings. It's really the focal point of this map. Most battles on this map tend to sort of circle around this island right here because it has 2 buildings on it, and it's also relatively protected by all this water here, which gives you plenty of time to respond to cavalry attacks. And with this ridge right here, you can't just run right up the side. You have to go all the way around. So it's actually pretty interesting. It actually sort of favors those head-on rush armies where you can just crash into the enemy at that island and pull out a grinded-out win just up front. But also this building over here does give a little bit of an option if you want to wait it out and be a little more maneuverable. You can capture this building over here and obviously get that bonus, and maybe try and just harry the enemy a little bit so he doesn't get control of both the buildings on the far side of the map. But giving up the island is sort of tenuous because it puts your enemy in a strong position to defend, especially with that ridge like there that I talked about earlier. The bow hero here for Ta has just gotten hit hard by this Great Guard. These 2 Great Guard, I should say. 1 at 51 and 1 at 58 men. So actually the bow hero held their own and melee quite well against Great Guard, but they're down to 14 men, so their effectiveness will be kind of limited from this point on, but still be able to do some good damage. Bow cavalry are shooting as well, and there's a bit of a danger here for Indypride if he decides, well, I'm going to camp on this hill, on this island, because Ta has a lot of bows. His bow hero did get hit, which is probably why Indypride targeted that bow hero first and foremost, is he may be planning on just waiting out an attack on that island and try and just whittle down his missile forces, which I think is a pretty decent strategy here for Indypride. Hitting that bow hero sure will do a lot to that end. Of course, he has the 2 bow cavalry, which are already hitting the infantry on the far side. Great Guard, what a nice charge from that Great Guard, down to 35 men off that charge. Usually you don't see cavalry on cavalry charges hit that hard, but that Great Guard took a lot of damage. And it looks like Indypride is going to try and just take out the cavalry here, just like he did in the last game, because Ta's starting to show his army a little bit. And we're seeing Yari-Ashigaru and Naginata monks, so maybe a spear wall core here for Ta. Maybe he has the same Naginata setup he had last time, but I think Indypride's definitely feeling secure in his infantry advantage, which I definitely think he has, knowing what we know about Ta's force. So using cavalry early here to take out the enemy cavalry is actually a great idea if you have an infantry advantage. I did a lot in my battles with that cav early action, since I'd usually have that infantry advantage. Your cavalry is much more free to take these early action and get some really good hits off and just cripple the enemy support so your infantry can clean up with no worries. Let's take a look at the cavalry now on this side for Ta. It looks like Indypride, both of his Great Guard, are going to be routed here in a second. So this Katana Cavalry here at 42, this Katana Cavalry at 38. This, the same one, never mind. This Great Guard here is at 23, Bow Cavalry there at 59. So he did some decent damage here, and a couple units have routed. In fact, one of these Great Guards for Ta is routed. That's pretty big right there. And what is this? Very interesting. Ta's general is going all the way around here, and he's just going to completely encircle Indypride on that little island. And as I suspected, Ta is going to do some serious skirmishing here. He was a little timid in the last game with this skirmishing. I don't think he's going to make that mistake twice. Especially because what does Indypride have to respond to that now that his cavalry is pretty much... In fact, I think it is actually entirely gone. So all you'll have left to respond is a Bow Warrior Monk and a Matchlock Samurai. And that's it. And Ta has 2 bow cavalry here. One's down to 27. Must have gotten a shot from the matchlocks. Got a little too close there. Or maybe the bow monks, of course, can always do good damage like that. So if he can just whittle down these bows, which are 65 men, Indypride will be powerless to stop any sort of skirmishing. And Todd will really have pretty good control of the battle at that point. Ooh, Katana Cavalry running in from the side, trying to hit the matchlocks, but so slow through that water, as you can see, will really just hamper the charge. And I think that Indypride needs to take that into account, which he kind of did here, putting him right on the beach. I think I would want to be right on the beach as well, so that your charges can get. But then again, he does have a front line of Nodachi, so he will want to get that big charge off. And so being more in the middle of the island actually is probably better, as he'll be able to get a good, slightly downhill charge off with his Nodachis, which if he gets good charge with the Nodachis, I'm pretty sure that will be game, as there's just nothing in the infantry component that can take this out. The infantry's going to get slaughtered, I believe. We can see what we have here. Some Naginata monks and some Yari Ashigaru, along with the Matchlock Samurai. So it's definitely going to have to be Taz skirmishing and cavalry. That infantry support is going to have to win the battle for him, because I really don't think they're going to stand a chance against Indypride's infantry. Also 3 monks there in the back. Let's just take a final count here. 1 Naginata Samurai, 2 Yari Ashigaru, 3 warrior monks. There are 2 more Yari Ashigaru there in the rear, and 3 Nodachis up front. It can be very, very hard for Todd to win this in the infantry battle. In fact, I'm pretty much saying that there's no way that's going to happen. He's going to have to just whittle this force down with those bows. And then that cavalry, he's got to get a good cavalry attack off. There's a pretty good amount of spears for such a small area like this island is. 3, 4 spears is absolutely plenty. And with these Naginata monks being able to do double duty on infantry and cavalry, he'll have even more protection. And I think if I were Indypride, I would want to dedicate these monks to anti-cavalry action, as, like I said, the sword should be able to clean up the infantry fight no problem. And if you look at the infantry over here, they're relatively experienceless. These Ashigaru have 3 chevrons. It's not a whole lot, though, for Yari Ashigaru. You got to really pump in those chevrons, or just don't give them anything, really, because it's sort of a middle ground that's kind of awkward, where they're not quite powerful enough to really make an impact, but they cost more. So, a little precarious there. So, looks like Indypride's going to want to chase this off, but this is actually kind of dangerous here, going across the river. Look how slow they're running, going up against Matchlocks. They'll be able to get a couple volleys off, but it's actually pulling them back. The general's now joined in on the fun. And Todd's general is also going to join in on the fun. Very interesting. Katana Cavalry coming out, trying to get hit off on the general. He actually has the general sandwiched a little bit. And if his Matchlocks did a quick about face and got a shot off on the general, that would be huge. But unfortunately, there's some Yari Ashigaru right in the way. So, too bad. Could get a very... I mean, the general's completely exposed. Oh, but he's going to run in front of the Yari Ashigaru. So, it's actually a really good shot for a Matchlock. I think maybe if Todd's seen that and quickly did an about face, thinking that he was chasing off that unit, he could have maybe just plowed this general down with a nice volley from those Matchlocks. But what kind of Matchlock are they? Are they samurai, or no, they're just Ashigaru? But still, a Matchlock is a Matchlock. Not much is going to stop that bullet. Completely encircled here. On all sides. So Indypride still has a strong position. Like I said, that infantry advantage is huge. It's going to make it very hard for Todd to win this. If he's going to win it, he's going to have to do it with a lot of skirmishing. But I've said that, of course, plenty of times. Speaking of skirmishing, this Bow Warrior Monk's down to 33 men. We're looking at the Bow Cavalry. This one's a 21. This one's a 56. So if we can just take out that Bow Warrior Monk, he'll be in the clear to just skirmish to his heart's content. Not looking too good for Indypride in that respect, because his units here are all low armor. Katana Samurai, Nodachis, and Naginata monks. So if his bows get a clear shot without any real resistance from the missile units, then he will be able to... In fact, he could just win this battle, because this actually ended up being really important. That building on the far side there that Ta captured, of course, is the archery dojo, which means he has infinite ammo, so he can run his bow cavalry over there, refill, and he can literally skirmish till Kingdom Come. I mean, there's nothing to stop that. He has infinite ammo. So Indypride might be forced here to make an attack. And it's actually going to be really precarious for Indypride to attack on, because all that water, the Nodachis aren't going to get a very good charge off at all. Very dangerous here for Indypride, actually. He's in that position where he's sort of deceptively weak. You think you're in a very strong position, this hill surrounded by water, but it's actually not going to work out good for him, because with the missile disadvantage here, he's basically a sitting duck. So that's always one of my favorite things to see in Shogun, these deceptively weak positions, where someone thinks they're in a very strong position, the best spot on the map, but it actually works exactly to their opponent's favor. And it's actually bad for the person in that deceptively strong position. Cavalry going in now into the Naginata monks. They're going to get stopped. Looks like they're going for the general there, but it's going to get stopped. So, good effort, but not going to do the job. Although he did make it to the general, killed one of them, so it wasn't completely in vain at least. More cavalry coming in. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is actually not a bad decision here from Todd to be going in with his cavalry, because if you can take out those missile units, again, it's just going to mean that Indypride is that much less to fight back against the bow cavalry. The Yari Ashigaru is at 131. Bow monks are now down to 27. The rest of the forces look like they're in perfectly good shape. Yari Ashigaru once again are going to try and chase off the Matchlock Ashigaru over here, but some serious opportunities for Todd to just rip into these guys going across the river. This is very bad for Indypride going across a river like this. Not that it's necessarily a bad decision because he doesn't have much of a choice, but it's bad. It's not a position he wants to be in. Going so slow across that water, Matchlocks could probably get 2 shots off easily before they reach the other side. But it's good for Todd to be conservative here, as he really has the advantage here. If he throws away his advantage by letting his Matchlocks get caught, then that's gonna pretty much be game. If you lose these missile forces, there's gonna be pretty much nothing left for him to win. Bow monks have routed, very important. They're now shooting into the Katana Samurai, nothing to stop them. Now 116 men, literally nothing to stop them. Let's see what the buildings are that, Indypride does have the workshops that will help him withstand these missile attacks, but again, it's the infinite ammo problem. I mean, Todd is just got nothing to stop these missile troops, and it's a very good position actually for Todd to be in, but it's very precarious too. If he loses these missile forces, that's it. I mean, the game is over. If he makes one bad move, like lets these Matchlocks get caught down and maybe risks his bow cavalry too, and loses those maybe to a good shot from the Matchlocks, which, where are the Matchlocks? Over here. It looks like Indypride's being very aggressive here with these Matchlocks, trying to get up and hit that bow cavalry. But they're getting torn apart down to 46 men. So if this Matchlock Samurai gets routed, that's going to be it. Oh no! Todd sending his general to try and hit the Matchlocks and takes a volley right from the Matchlocks. But general's still alive, is 18 men, so still only killed like 4 men in that charge. Very, very risky. That's the thing, Todd being in a strong but precarious position, losing his general like that could have been it. I mean, yeah, even having all those missile troops, he lost his general. That could have been a signal for Indypride to attack and just end up, wiping the floor with the enemy that just routs instantly. Maybe Indypride's going to attack here. Todd's infantry has made it to the river and now setting up his position. A good position too, in the water. It's going to slow down those Nodachis and break that charge, which is definitely something that he wants. So I think Indypride's definitely sensed that, yeah, I have like no missile troops. I can't just sit here and take casualties from these infinite ammo bow cavalry. I have to move and do something. There's a Banzai Actus. Looks like he's going to dedicate. This Nodachi here's 82 men, led by Yari Shigaru with 96, and the rest are in pretty decent shape. Bow cavalry running, looks like going into melee. The bow hero's coming out, only has 6 men though. I don't know where they lost all those others. Maybe they took a cavalry attack that I didn't quite see. Oh no, the Matchlocks get a big shot off into the bow cavalry, now 46 men. Todd cannot afford to lose those skirmishers. Bow cavalry seems like he was thrown into melee just to slow him down. They only had about 18 men in them, so not a bad choice there, I guess. But still, every bow is important, I think, in this one. And Todd's pulling back with all his infantry. Definitely wants to skirmish more, I think. But the bow cavalry is actually very safe with that. They're so fast, obviously being cavalry, that there's pretty much no way they're going to get locked down in melee unless Todd makes a serious, serious error, which I certainly don't expect him to do. Katana cavalry over there at 33, Great Guard at 23. It looks like Todd he's got him off the island. He could try and capture these buildings here. I think definitely capturing this workshop is very important. If he can get that, that means his skirmishing forces will be that much more powerful. The Yari Shigaru looks like it's going to be sacrificed here by Todd just to slow down the enemy and set his infantry in a good position, just sort of be running around the map, and so his skirmish forces can't fight. Now I know what you're probably thinking. You're like, but Fishy, you can't just run around the map and waste time. Well, that's technically true, but Todd's also technically attacking because he's engaged in missile attacks, so he is being proactive even as his infantry runs around the map. It's also going to tire out both sides' forces, which I don't think that really has anything to do with the skirmish fight, but kind of interesting nonetheless. And it could be very good, actually, because the more tired the Indypride's forces are, the slower they'll be in melee, and the more time that Todd, I think, will have to just whittle them down. This Nodachi's down to 65 men, so it's definitely reasonable that Todd could still win this. I mean, Indypride's force is definitely stronger in the melee department, no doubt, but again, Ta has all these skirmish troops, and he has all day. There's nothing that's going to catch up to this bow cavalry. I mean, nothing. He has no cavalry, Indypride that is, and no missile troops. Besides the one matchlock. Where is he at? Unless he maybe got ambushed. Maybe he's all the way over here. But he only has 24 men. That's still a decent number, considering that a matchlock is a matchlock and will kill pretty much anything it shoots at. But it's not as big as it could be, down to about a quarter of their original strength. Now Indypride seems to be in the trees, also a good position there. We're just forcing the tree. It's going to mean there's going to be less danger of his troops getting shot by bows. But again, it all goes back to the theory that Ta has infinite ammo. But if he retreats all the way to the archery dojo, then Indypride can take the archery dojo and cut off that infinite ammo source. Units have to be at the archery dojo, and I think their bow cavalry have to be dismounted as well to get that infinite, or the ammo recharge, that is, so they can fill up their quivers again. So I think Indypride's actually his best course of action might be to just maneuver his way to the archery dojo, capture it, and then just sit there, because Ta's probably going to run out of ammo. He hasn't had any of his troops that I saw go back and get ammo, so he's probably running kind of low on ammo. And besides that, his bow cavalry's pretty hurt. That one's at 45, bow hero's at 6. There's one over there at 43, I think, yeah, the other one routed, so he is running out of missile troops. Another Yari-Yashigaru is going to get caught down, and there it goes, it's shattered. So Ta is losing forces, and it's not looking very good for him now. It's definitely a better spot for him when Indypride was stuck on that hill. His Nodachi here is pretty much gone at 20 men. Ooh, very risky here, though. Might be trying to deliver a coup de grace to the Nodachis, but if they get caught down here, again, it's going to have to be the skirmish force that wins this, unless his cavalry could blow some rogues. He does have a couple, a Great Guard and a Katana cavalry, but not much. Oh, and his bow cavalry is stuck in melee at 35 men. This might have been a very bad decision for Ta. As we lose this bow cavalry, he is just losing his advantages here. He has a cavalry and a missile advantage, but that won't mean anything if he loses that advantage by losing his units. And look at this infantry line. 3 units, a Yari-Yashigaru, 2 monks, a matchlock samurai, and a bow hero is all we got here. So Indypride might be moving in for the killing blow here and try and finish this. If he can finish off this main infantry body here, there's pretty much nothing that Ta's going to be able to do. He just doesn't have enough men with that matchlock, and only 1 bow cavalry left. He's over there. Actually, he has 2 bow cavalry. I thought he only had 1. I thought 1 route. Oh no, this one didn't actually route. So it's still in the fight with 22 men. They are tired here and wavering. It's actually done quite a bit of damage. No, actually there are 75. That Katana's fine. These ones are about 100. That one's at 29 men. That 99 is at 88. So quite a bit of damage. Yari-Yashigaru there's at 51. Katana cavalry now moving in, and actually Indypride's getting very bunched up here. A few well-placed cavalry, like this one right here, getting the matchlock samurai. There goes the matchlock samurai from the general. So Indypride's actually maybe not in a very good position here. If Ta can just hold out, his army is pretty far away from the general, which would be a significant disadvantage, but if he can get some clutch cavalry charges off here, Ta just might be able to pull this out. He still has a few more forces over there. He's got to start consolidating, though. He has pretty much now or never at this point. He's dedicated. And he's got to just do this now. This 99 monk at 32 men about to waver, or about to shatter, that is. And not looking good. Rally's been popped. Spire's been popped. No war cry yet. Katana cavalry moving around there. Here come the matchlock Ashigaru, and with some good matchlock shots, he can maybe turn this around, but unfortunately his infantry line is entirely gone now. Just the matchlock samurai there. The general is dismounted and he's going in to stand and fight. So, but the general's going to get hit by a charge here from the Katana cavalry. Takes out the general here. Ta is still alive with a couple little detachments left. And I mean, Indypride, you see a lot of units there, a lot of banners, but they're pretty ragged. 77 men there, 105, 46, 49, 123. So it's not over yet. He still has his Yari-Yashigaru and the matchlock, so they can maybe pull out a miracle here, along with the Katana cavalry. I definitely don't think Ta's out of this. Bow cavalry's over there. I should definitely think about getting that up to the front line. But Indypride is definitely in a strong position here. That bow cavalry is now moving up for Ta way over there on the other side of the river. If he can make it there in time, who knows? He could maybe just try pull back, and because these guys are fresh. Indypride's units are tired. Ta's over here are fresh. They can outrun and just sort of kite around with this matchlock. maybe pull out a win here. It's not looking good, but it's not over yet. The Naginata Monk's going to crash into this Yari Ashigaru, and the Hammer and Anvil there should send that Yari Ashigaru running. In the red and wavering. 77 men. He's got to break before the infantry line comes in and sandwiches that cavalry. Now the cavalry at 22 men. There he goes. War Cry is popped, and the Yari Ashigaru is routed, and Ta will now reform. And Indypride's getting a little bit disorganized here, too, which he could maybe take advantage of. Ta, that is. Matchlock Samurai there seems to have routed that Naginata Monk, and with a bit of good sandwiching, Ta could maybe pull this out. After the Yari Ashigaru broken, but not shattered, may return. Who knows? Yeah, Indypride's disorganized. I think if I were at Indypride, I would definitely want to just take a moment and just collect my forces and attack all at once. Because if he becomes piecemeal like this, he's in danger of just the matchlocks picking him off. He's going to shoot into that Nodachi. And again, they're still fresh. This Nodachi is very tired. They'll be very slow. And even if they make it there before routing, they're not going to get a terribly good charge off being so tired. Ton of cavalry moving around here. Oh man, Indypride's general survived. He had 4 men left in the unit. Pops the rally. Maybe going all in right now and trying to finish this battle off. But that's if Ta lets him, because he has the fatigue advantage here and thus a slight speed advantage, and and he has the farmhouse as well, so his unit's going to get less fatigued and move faster than Indypride, so he could potentially run him around the map with that matchlock and skirmish away and end up winning. And this is technically not running around the map to waste time. There is a point here, and Indypride's following him. If Indypride was standing still, he would have to move up and start shooting. But since Indypride is pursuing, and he can sort of stop every once in a while and try and get some good shots off. Here comes the Katana Cavalry. Maybe not the best time to do it since they're in the water, and he could definitely use as big of a charge as he can get. And the Nodachis and the Naginata Monk are going to respond. But so will Ta. Pulls his cavalry back. Good decision. It's not a good place for his cavalry to be, but it did buy him some time, so the matchlocks can turn around and get some shots off. Who are they shooting into? Looks like they were shooting into the monks. The Great Guard is left as well, 19 men. Bow Cavalry still has 43, and they are firing. So Indypride's actually getting hurt pretty bad at this point from all this skirmishing. With that speed advantage, he could actually pull this out. It's not looking too good for him, but he could definitely do it. I think if I were Ta, I want to try and shoot into this general with my Bow Cavalry. Even if it didn't kill the general, he could maybe get him to rout, and that would be huge. Yari Ashigaru's turned around. It looks like Ta's going to make his last stand here. As a match like Ashigaru end up stopping as well. But ooh, they're wavering, and if they rout here, that's going to be very bad. He needs this Yari or this match like Ashigaru to shoot and get those casualties. Pull out this battle. Indypride's getting a little bit bunched up here too, which gives them that fighting power. But there's a couple cavalry coming in, and if they make it in there, a big charge could turn this battle. You never know. General wavering at 3 men. Takes a nice charge there from the Katana Cavalry. 1 man left, and of course, this is the general. And there he goes. General is routed. Wavering on Indypride's line. This is... Oh, here comes the cavalry charge. There's so much wavering. They're all in red morale, except like 1 unit. They're breaking. And, oh my god, Todd's going to win this. Mass wavering, mass routing. 2 units left on the field. 3 units, excuse me. Now there are 2. As that whole line just crumbled, the shock of the general dying with the matchlocks and the cavalry gives him 1 big morale shock. And there are 2 units left. Now suddenly Ta has the advantage. There goes that unit. 1 unit left. Nodachi Samurai. 39 men being sandwiched by matchlocks. Oh my god, Ta has pulled it out. And this series is going to be evened up. There it is. We are all tied up, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you back on the main menu. What a crazy game that was. That was one of the crazier games I think we've seen in this tournament. Absolutely insane. It goes back to that deceptively weak position there where Indypride thinks I have this big, infantry line. It really looked like Indypride was going to win that very early. Once Indypride, kind of lost his cavalry and the battle started settling down a little bit, Indypride, like, number for number, was stronger there with all that infantry, but it's not just about quote-unquote strength. It's about what you can do with your army, and Ta could do 2 things. He had the speed with the cavalry, and he had the missile troops, and used both of those very well, and turned the advantage against Indypride there. His infantry couldn't respond to the cavalry, and they couldn't respond to the missiles, so Ta had controlled that battle from the very beginning. Once Indypride lost his cavalry, there wasn't a whole lot he could do, and maybe in retrospect, that was a bad idea to lose his cavalry. Maybe pick the wrong target, thinking, okay, if his cavalry is intact, that's fine, because he had plenty of anti-cavalry stuff, like we saw with the Yari Ashigaru and the Naginata Monks. but he didn't have anything to counter the bow. So I think looking back on that, we can think what Indypride could have done maybe to win that was go after the bow cavalry and the bows with his cavalry, which he did a little bit with the bow hero, but maybe the bow cavalry was a little more dangerous. And because if he had lost that bow cavalry, it would have been very hard to come back from that. But Tasha came back from a lot of things in that game. Very well played. We're tied up 1-1. We're going to the tiebreaker. I'll see you all there. Thanks for watching, everybody.